If you want to nail gray coverage with Magix 10, this is the video for you. Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Araz. I'm the lead educator with Magix 10, and today I want to talk a little bit about gray coverage and a little bit about what you can do to ensure perfect results every time. Before we dive into that, I need to explain to you the differences between the 0.0 family, the 0.00 family, and the 0.00N family. So your 0.0 is a cool natural. It is a brown with a yellow-green tone to it. 0.00 is a warm natural. It is a brown with a yellow-orange to it. And then the true neutrals are true neutral. So one of the most common mistakes that we can make as a hairdresser is assume that the 0.00 in Magix 10 is for gray coverage. It's not. 0.00 is a warm natural, so you will experience a warmer result. If you're looking for that neutral to add into your gray coverage formula, then 0.00N is going to be the way to go, okay? So just make sure that you understand that 0.0 is a cool brown, 0.00 is a warm brown, and the 0.00N is your true neutral, which is optimal for gray coverage. So when it comes to getting perfect gray coverage with Magix 10, you got to know this. If your client has under 30% gray, any of the Magix colors will give you coverage. Once we get to above 30% gray, that's when we're going to start incorporating some true neutrals into our formula. So here's the recipe for you. If your client is between 30 to 50% gray hair, 5 to 25% of your formula should contain true neutral, and the rest of it can be whatever tonal family that you want to use. Now, bear in mind, you can use just true neutral on its own for gray coverage as well. So when we're talking about how much true neutral to add, this is if you want to do a secondary tone like a copper or a gold or an ash. So if your client is between 30 and 50% gray hair, 5 to 25% of your formula should be a true neutral. Now, if your client is 50% or more in gray, then 25 to 50% of your formula should contain a true neutral. Here's my general rule of thumb. The higher the percentage of the gray, the more true neutral I add. So the closer to the 50% neutral in my formula. So it really depends on how much neutral you need, how much neutral you want, how much brown you want to add into your formula for that gray coverage. But you got to just understand that true neutral 0.00N is what you're going to utilize for gray coverage, not 0.00. Remember, 0.00 is a warm natural. It's a brown with a yellow orange. It's great for warmer results. It's great to use on gray coverage for redheads or coppers. It's beautiful to use as a low light on blondes transitioning a little bit darker, but it's not that double pigment gray coverage that you're used to with typical 0.00s. That's going to be the 0.00N in Magix 10. That's what you're going to use, the 0.00N anytime you are wanting to do gray coverage. Our recommendation is always 21 volume developer for gray coverage. If you want to do gray blending, you can drop it down to 12 volume, but the go-to is 21 volume. I'm gonna give you a couple tips to get perfect gray coverage. Number one, you want to make sure that your section sizes are very fine. Okay, you want to take really, really fine sections. And then number two, you want to make sure that you saturate properly. I would say saturate heavy. Make sure that there's enough color on that hair so that the coloring process can happen in 10 minutes. Lastly, you want to make sure that you're working on clean hair. There's nothing worse than trying to get gray coverage on clients that have a buildup of sprays or powders or just dirty hair. So make sure that their hair is clean, cleansed, and ready to accept that color, and watch your mind get blown on what's possible with Magix 10. I hope this was helpful for you. Until next time, happy hair coloring.